to jump on. Oh, morning for Michigan, Joe. Let's see. So we're gonna wait for a few people to hop on. I see we got people jumping on pretty quickly, but we will wait a few minutes. I know people have complained that we've, not complained, I mentioned that we start too quickly and jump right in. And Kate's gonna do a song and dance for you.
No, I'm not.
So as a reminder, this is on our cell phone because it's live and we don't have like a fancy camera for live video. So apologize if the footage is a little grainier than our normal edited footage, but we are, all right, we got people jumping on. All right. Kate's getting the chat all set up. Get the sound turned down.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I wish I could make this bigger. My poor eyes.
No, it's not.
It's okay.
Okay, so I got an itinerary this time, so we can at least keep track of stuff that Mike wants me to mention. Mike's jumping on the chat in a few, and we will be talking about kind of idea with this for anybody that missed the first one in January. The whole idea is we get people to ask a lot of questions in the videos, in the comments, and a lot of times we miss them that are reoccurring questions of, where are you going to be for, this event? What's going on with this car? Can we see this? What's Kate been up to?
Nobody's asking that.
They do ask that. Where's Kate at? Blah, blah, blah. So we kind of doing these as like an update, gives you a little sneak peek into some videos that are coming in the future. And also we can kind of make some announcement about different events and stuff like that we're working on. 2021, we have a lot of neat stuff planned, so I want to definitely make sure that we make people aware of some of the cool stuff we have going on. And
Good morning, everybody. Where's Mike at? He's at work.
yeah, Mike is juggling his day, his day job. So Mike works like a not off schedule. He just works a different schedule. So he has like a Sunday through Wednesday or Thursday type deal. So Sunday services, Mike is usually not here because he is working. So Mike's going to try and jump on if he gets a few minutes on the chat just to interact with everybody. Kate, obviously, and I will be watching the chat, and if we see any questions, we're going to be answering some throughout, but we're definitely going to go through the itinerary a little bit. So, first thing is, we don't have any visitors today because the shop is closed officially.
Because it's our 5-year anniversary.
Anniversary, woo! So, Kate and I have known each other for
11 years.
11 years,
Yeah.
something like that, and we've been officially attached at the hip for 5 years. So yeah, so today we're gonna just spend a day, other than this live, we're basically gonna spend a day doing non-car stuff and just enjoying each other's company, because it's hard to get either of us to sit still for more than a few minutes at a time. So that is today's goal. So that's the first thing. Second thing is obvious, coffee cups. We've been getting questions since pretty much we've started selling merch about coffee cups. So we finally have these coffee cups. Mike, big shout out to Mike. Mike handles like all the merch, and he deals with my madness of like being snippy about not liking a design or a color or whatever. What the hell are you thinking? This is a coffee cup. This is our first run. We tried this company out, and we're going to see how they work. We've already tested them and used them. So if you go on our merch store, IronTrapGarage.BigCartel.com. It's in the bottom of all of our videos. You can get a coffee cup if you so decide. And anytime we hit a swap meet or an event where we're actually set up, we'll probably have some of these with. But really neat deal. I like that it's got the red on the inside and the black. So that's my sales pitch. If you like them, great. If not, don't buy any. These two that we have right here, if you comment or interact in the video today, Mike is going to pick 2 people at random that are going to get free IronTrap coffee cups that we have here. They're like the first 5 or 6 that we got. Mike has those. We have 2, and then we got 2 extras. So we're going to give them away. But they are live on the website. If you want to buy one, you're more than welcome to. But we're going to give 2 away today just because I like giving stuff away. So let's check the comments before we...
We have no vodka or whiskey in these.
You're a little out of focus. All right. Let me check. Hold on. I'm going to wipe across my phone because it might have moon slobber on it. I apologize. That's why this live stuff. There we go. Let's try that. I don't know if it'll help or not, but it might have been moon slobber on my phone. All right, anything else? Let's see. Morning, Matt. How's the free tea coming? Have you gotten all the bugs worked out of it yet? So free tea, I've been tinkering with a little bit at the end of the summer, and then I didn't really mess with it at all because with the shop doors being closed for the winter and the heater on, can't really start the thing or anything like that. Really, at this point, I just need to tinker with the carbs a little bit more, do a final like volt check of everything, and then we can start putting some miles on it. I finally got tags and everything all sorted for it. Before I was driving it just with not legal tags. So I was just doing some test drives. So now it's going to be all legal and everything. So I can actually take it for some longer drives and just work out all the bugs. We're planning on hopefully taking it to a couple of events, which we'll get into a little bit later this year, and hopefully just, you know, ripping it around a little bit, which will be fun. So good question. To see anything else. Hot chocolate with a splash of peppermint snaps. Good morning. Working on getting LaSalle transmission back east for us. So yeah, Tom Maxfield and his dad Larry are our West Coast connection, but Tom lives on the East Coast and drives truck. And I scored a 37, or no, actually it's a 38 and newer Cadillac LaSalle side shift box that's been shortened and modified for a drag car. Just has second and third gear, and it comes with a flathead adapter and all kinds of stuff. He was nice enough to grab it for me because it was out near his dad and he's bringing it east. I have a transmission in Florida that my buddy Quint grabbed for me. That is one of our viewers offered to me for sale. That is a Packard overdrive trans that has a flathead Ford adapter on it and a cool floor shift. So I'm always gathering up parts for future projects. So thank you for doing the underground parts railroad for me. That's awesome. Project updates. We're going to do a bunch of that. I'm just going to do a quick walk around to that. Definitely keep asking questions, and we'll get into some of that. So the 32 Roadster that we're kind of right now nicknaming the DeLorean, Jack DeLorean Roadster. That project is just basically been kind of gathering parts and getting a game plan. I'm going back down to North Carolina to pick up from Brian. We visited Brian at the end of last year when we did the Moultrie swap meet. I ended up buying a race flathead engine that his dad had rebuilt, so I'm going back down to pick that up, and we're gonna do around, visit some friends and different stuff like that. So that thing I hopefully have an engine for. Starting to gather a game plan for the car and some parts and different stuff. Got some new photos and things that we haven't really shared publicly yet, so we're hoping to put a little video together after I get the engine here and some of that stuff, that we could put a little more information about that car together, which will be really awesome. If you see questions, just interrupt me.
So somebody wants to know what discoveries were in the back of Dad's Daily.
We had kind of gone through that car in the earlier videos when it was in Carl's pole barn. We had gone through the back of it a little bit in those videos, uncovering it. Mainly it was just, Carl had thrown all kinds of parts. It was nice. Carl was nice enough, even though he could barely get around at the end there, he got himself out to the garage one day and he went and sat down, and all the parts that were scattered around on the floor around the car, he went through and put a set of trim together for me. Basically anything he could reach from a chair, he gathered together and put together, and then he had me throw it in the trunk when we picked the car up. So most of the stuff we found was just that. We didn't find anything too crazy. As you saw in the video, it was just all that house insulation, that fiberglass house insulation that I kind of asked Mike nicely to clean out. So he got the itchy job of doing that. But we didn't find anything real crazy. The trunk has some little, rust holes here and there, but nothing too bad. I'll walk you on the car here in a second. We'll show you a couple of things we're working on video-wise for the car. Yeah, so let's pick you up and I will show you guys. So we got this. Mic's on. Hi, David. Hi, Fred. So this is the 47 coupe, for anybody that's not familiar, that we nicknamed Dad's Daily. It's just kind of sitting right now. So right now we're working on, we got an Eastwood tri-flow radiator. So this is the aluminum 3-pass radiator they have that will like totally keep this engine extremely cool. I was going to mention in a few minutes, last video, I mentioned I needed some help, some part-time help, and we got some help. So I have Jack, Steve, and Jeffrey that have been coming occasionally to help out. And Jack and Steve have been working on this project, and I've helped them a little bit. So we're shooting a video, getting this radiator in. We're going to paint it black eventually once we get it all mounted in. But they're working on making some brackets to mount this in. And we got the radiator sitting pretty good. So you can see there's plenty of room for a fan. No problem at all. So we're working on that. Steve also started working on laying out the wiring. So you can see he's just doing the main body wiring. He kind of just has it laid out. I just yesterday picked up a bunch of supplies to kind of put dual filament bulb holders in and all that. But we got a ton of stuff from Holley and their subsidiaries, B&M, Mr. Gasket, all kinds of stuff. I have these bins just full. We got a Holley 4-barrel, all kinds of stuff. So that stuff's going to go on pretty soon. But that's kind of the update on this car that's going on right now. Any questions?
They want an update on the Arden.
Update on the Arden. It is, I'm actually, hopefully when I am traveling around here soon, my friend that's helping me make some floors for this car that are reproductions. I'm waiting on that. So that's not a 69 351 Windsor. Yeah, I didn't say it was, so I don't know where that came from. Maybe somebody said that in the comments. Anyways, Arden. Basically, I've been waiting on, a friend is stamping some floors for me for this and some inner rockers that match like the channel job on this car. So basically, I've been waiting. I wanted to send the engine off to Ron to get him working on it, but I realized that I really need this kind of the heads and stuff in place to get everything sitting. I found finally the long lost Zoomy headers or pipes from this engine. When I was at the big auction where I bought all this stuff, the other guy that was buying things and bought the other set of heads, he got the other pipes. So I finally broke down on eBay and bought them off of him. So I have my Zoomy pipes back together. So I need to raise the engine up a little bit, and we're also raising the body up just a little bit. So I need to get the floors kind of in place, and we need to kind of mock all that stuff up so I can make sure that the engine is at the correct height before I take it away, so it's going to sit for a while. So really nothing has happened. You can see I just got like boxes laying all around it. It's kind of embarrassing. So that car is just on the back burner. I've been trying to get moving on that. If you guys go to the Hershey AACA Museum's social media, like their Facebook and their website, we did a little Arden talk last weekend where Lynn Paxton, who is very well known in our area in racing and has the EMMR museum, he did a little talk. I brought one of my heads and opened it up so people could check it out. So that's they recorded that Zoom call or Zoom live stream, so you can check that out. So the head was there. All right, so that's that. What else do we got?
They want to know if you'll be at Spring Carlisle.
Spring Carlisle. So we'll get to, let me just finish the project update, so we'll get into that stuff. So here is the Schroll Coupe. So this is we're jumping forward a couple of videos, but this is what we were working on in the past week or so. And huge update. So I got the body back on. And I made metal B-pillars, which are covered in encapsulator and primed or whatever. So that is in, and we got, I know it's hard to see, but I got the feet that we made. There's that mess of box tubing, it's hard to see, but anyways. I got feet made and welded in, and we have the body actually welded to my sub rails I made earlier this winter, and we got the thing sitting freaking bitchin'. It's so good. It's just right. Very East Coast car. I love it. So I need to make some mounts in the trunk just to connect the sub rails in the trunk, and then we can start working on the floors of the car. The floors will actually be pretty easy. I'll open this up so you guys can see. So this video is going to be out probably in like a week or so, but we're giving you a little preview here. But you can see all my sub rails. We still have some bracing that's I haven't cut out yet because it's helping to space the trunk area up. We just got wooden stuff in there, but got that all set up in there. Really psyched that we have this car sitting down nice, moving along pretty good on this car. So that's the update on that. The 39, I'll put you back down on the tripod. Oh, the Sweetheart Roadster, we have a video coming out, I think Tuesday. Mike will probably correct me if I'm wrong, on the wheel well. So I moved the shop around, and I made these really cool recessed wheel wells that are hard to see now that it's tucked in the corner here. But that video is coming out very soon. So I basically got one whole side of the car all repaired, other than some customization we're gonna do right there for the windshield stanchion. But yeah, so that's doing good. So that's kind of a quick update. Oh, the 34, I finally found, searching eBay, we were missing one of these. One of these Mickey Thompson spinner center caps for the original Raiders that are on the car. I found a pair of them on eBay. I had to step up, and I think I paid $100 for them, which kind of hurts to say. But I needed one for the car, so we have one. So this summer, or this spring, I can put them on. It's under a cover right now. But so that's good. I'm going to be driving the heck out of the 34. And there we go. So your background.
I know I saw it somewhere. Somebody asked about if you had got in the original hood for the DeLorean Roadster.
So I've been working with a gentleman that actually has the hood for the car. We've been keeping it kind of quiet, but there's a gentleman that has the hood for the car that he bought the 3-window that was actually on top of this car for many years. He bought a bunch of parts from the estate, and he got the hood for the car, and we've been going back and forth and working out a purchase or a trade. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I think he's willing to let it go for the car. We can get that back on. So that's the plan. I'm actually, we're getting into it here in a second here. I'm actually making a road trip to Michigan here soon, and I'm hoping that along that road trip in April, I can maybe stop and see him and work out a trade or purchase or whatever if everything works out great. So hopefully I do have the hood. We got most of the major parts for the car. I'm gonna just try and gather everything together, so when we're ready to hit it, it's going to be like the Schroll coupe, where I can just like really bang away at it and stay productive. So that's what I'm trying to do with my projects, is like get a game plan, get the parts ready, so when we do start working on it, we can just get you guys a steady flow of videos. So good question. I can't wait to get that for the car. It'll be like so awesome to bring that home with the car.
Have you picked out a name for the red 34?
No, I don't think I ever did. We really just started, once we found out the kind of the story of the car, we started calling it the Barry Skelly 34, or the Skelly 34, because it was his car, it was his baby, and really his name needs to be attached to the car. So that was kind of the name. Before we really knew the whole background on the car, I was looking to give it some kind of just nickname like we do a lot of these cars. But a lot of these cars that we're doing that are old hot rods, really the guy that, you know, back in the day owned or built or loved this car, their soul's attached to this car, and that's what I think that car is. So that we call it the Skelly 34, and I'm just going to drive the heck out of it this summer. So, of all the projects I have in the shop right now, hey, Roy Boy, man, that's a good name. He's well known, very known photographer. Of the projects in the shop right now, do you have one that you're most looking forward to driving? I think it just is like, and you could probably, anybody can relate that has a lot of projects. It's like whatever car you just finished most recent. So like the 34, I actually got to drive it quite a bit at the end of in the fall last year. So like that thing's pretty much a turnkey car. So I'm just going to drive that like a normal, almost everyday car. I'm really, really excited, obviously, to put together that Arting car and drive that, because that's going to be incredible. But I don't know, I guess the Sweetheart Roadster is going to be awesome, but that's just, it's kind of far off, so I'm like, haven't.
You want to know, you got that when we first started dating.
Yeah, I did, before I even had the
So you've
the
had
shop.
it for 5 years.
No, longer, because I had it before we bought the house.
Yeah, but we were together before we bought the house.
I got before that, though.
No, we were together.
Oh, were we?
I remember when you dragged it home.
Oh, all right. See, I don't even remember. So it's been 5-ish. I said it in a video recently. I was like, I don't remember how long I've owned this car. 5-ish years. So yeah, I am. The T is going to be awesome, but the T is definitely more of a like weekend fun nostalgia drag car, or a like rip around to a car show type deal. It's definitely not built for cross country driving. So I'm excited to drive that, but I think it's a car that I built a little too wild that it's probably not as drivable as it should be. So I love it, but yeah. So probably, I mean, really, it's just whichever one is next. I'm kind of excited with the Schroll Coupe because I can actually like we put this thing together so quick. It's kind of like this thing could be a driver like by the end of the summer. So I'm pretty excited on that car. So, but the Arden car is like that's the dream. I mean, any of us, I'm pretty much my dream end of all projects. So to drive that thing is going to be just incredible. I can't wait.
Ray wants to know where's Moon.
Moon was outside for a little while, but it's raining and he gets impatient when he's in the shop with nothing to. I like swept up the shop, so there's nothing for him to chew on. So
And it's still a little bit cold, and he likes to be warm in the house.
yeah, the concrete, his paws, you know, with the concrete floor being kind of cold, he gets annoyed after like 15 minutes. So, oh, the last project update is the 39. We got the 39 all set up. I actually just got the antique tags or license plates in for the car like last week. So that car is like basically ready to actually like drive some. We just got to get the water pump swapped on and a couple little odds and ends we found on those first test drives. Thanks to Ryan for hooking me up. The local guy Ryan hooked us up with a Y-block water pump that he had that was like barely used. So we're going to swap that on as soon as the weather gets a little bit better. We're going to bring that back in the shop and spend like a day or a weekend just going through and all those little nitpicky things we found, get them sorted out and then start driving it. So that'll be awesome. I'm excited to I probably am going to give Mike and I were talking about, I'm probably going to let Mike just like drive that thing to work and just put some miles on it. Because I'll probably be driving other cars and I might not drive it as much. So we're going to share responsibility driving that. Might even let my dad drive it for a little bit. So that's update on projects, major updates on projects. I think that's pretty much it for that stuff. So, any questions?
Yeah, they're for me.
Oh, go ahead.
So which car is my favorite? I don't really know. I actually really like the T. I think that one, just because of how nice and beautiful it is, it kind of reminds me of this Volkswagen Caddy that he had when we first met. That it just kind of has like a similar but older look to it, and I don't know, I think the T is probably my favorite. Which one is going to be my car if I'm ever going to have a hot rod? The Sweetheart Roadster was supposed to be mine.
I think it still will. It's just going to be really nice. So Kate gets a little anxiety when we talk, like real talk of her actually driving it. So
because shocker, I've never actually driven stick shift.
Well, you have, but like she hasn't driven. I've taught her a little bit, but she hasn't like been out on the road. Definitely not in anything like really old. So we will have to get back on. Like the 34, we joked is a good car for her to kind of drive stick because it's like not a wild engine. It's kind of a little more comfortable, so she can drive that around a little bit. But yeah, Sweetheart Roadster, the whole idea was that the widow that I bought the car from, she told us that her and her husband, when they first met and were dating, they used to drive this Roadster around. You know, he would drive his sweetheart around in the car, and they had a lot of fun memories when they were dating and first got married. So that's always been the thing, you know, let my sweetheart drive my Roadster around, and that was kind of the idea with it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever use one as a daily, just because I drive a really pothole-filled road to work, so I don't know if I'd have one for a daily. And also, Eli said that if I tell you a timeline, just agree.
Right. But yeah, so that, you know, we have a lot of fun driving these cars around just on normal, like, not even that Kate needs to drive one daily. We probably have more fun, like, let's go get ice cream, or like we go visit her parents for a family function. Like, I always tell people, like, I don't really drive my cars to car shows. I have more fun driving them to like visit friends, like to a swap meet, you know.
Like going to the pagoda.
Drive to the pagoda. Like, we just do normal people stuff, just like enjoy driving them. For me, I always got bored driving and parking it at a car show and sitting in a lawn chair. It just doesn't work for me. I either want to be working on them or driving them. I'm not real good at sitting around. So, but yeah.
Metman3 says, get me something more than potato chips for our anniversary.
We're actually going to Longwood Gardens, which is a really neat,
Botanical garden.
Yes, botanical garden, and then we're doing a neat restaurant that's kind of like in a greenhouse. So
Yeah.
Kate loves plants, so obviously the plant themed day, which will be really fun, and I do as well. So, All right, so I'm going to jump into, well, you definitely keep asking questions. Kate will pick a couple out as we go. Get into a little bit of travel stuff. So the first and foremost is it was just announced in April, I believe it's April 10th, the Gilmore Museum in Michigan, which we did some video stuff with. We have a bunch of stuff with the Gilmore coming up for this year. So you guys may remember we did like a sneak peek video where we road tripped and stopped to visit the Gilmore, and we kind of raised some mayhem. We were actually there to film a bunch of videos to show off the museum and some of our favorite stuff going on at the museum. So first and foremost, for the month of March, every Sunday we're putting out a video that we filmed at the Gilmore Museum. There was so much to film. We filmed way more than we could cover in just 4 videos, but we've videoed and put together, Mike's putting together 4 dedicated videos. So the first one's going to be the first Sunday of March. We're going to be doing an overview of the museum as a whole. So there's going to be, just kind of our snippet of some of our favorite stuff around the whole entire museum. We're going to be doing we did a video on the Model T driving experience. So if you go to the Gilmore Museum, you can actually pay for like a day to get in, get lunch, and you're actually, with an instructor, able to drive an original Model T, and you get taught how to drive the Model T around the grounds. I got to do that, really fun, didn't crash it. It was a lot of fun. So we're doing that, and there's a couple other videos we have that we're putting together. So for the month of March, we're doing that. So if you guys are planning any kind of like road trips, I know a lot of like car shows have been already canceled or swap meets. If you can't do that stuff, the museums are allowed to open with, decreased occupancy.
Limited capacity.
Yeah, you can still go to the museum. So Gilmore is open. You can go. You can buy your tickets and go there. So if you, instead of going to a car show and maybe just sitting around, plan a trip to go visit one of your local museums. The Gilmore is one that's supporting us. So obviously go visit them if you can. It's definitely something you could spend a whole weekend at the museum. It's not just a one-day deal. So definitely plan that, or if they have one of their events going on, you can kind of coordinate that with the event, see the museum, see whatever else is going on, which should be really fun. So that's the Gilmore video stuff. To follow up with that, I'm traveling to Michigan in April 10th is what I was kind of getting into. I will be at the Gilmore Museum, and we're doing a little kind of abbreviated workshop class. So I'm doing like a half a day seminar, if you want to call it that, or show and tell, just giving some tips and tricks, showing how to do some TIG welding of sheet metal, hammer and dolly work, some of that stuff. I'll probably make some kind of patch panel for a Model A from scratch in like half a day to show you guys, or sometimes I do like a dashboard and show that. So you can actually go on the Gilmore website. So if you actually Google, the easiest way to find it, Gilmore Winter Workshop, first one that shows up is the link that you can go and sign up. They have a limited space for that because there is some restrictions still. So you need to sign up for that. It's basically $50, and you get entry to the museum for the whole entire day, and you get free lunch, and you obviously get from like, I think it's 9 to 2. I'm doing the little workshop, little thing that we're going to do on some sheet metal and stuff like that. So if you're interested in doing that, it's a good excuse in early April to go there. You get to hang out, ask any questions. We'll do some hammering on metal and welding and stuff, and then you get lunch, and you get to spend the rest of the day at the museum, walking through the museum. So for only a couple bucks more than what you would spend to get in the museum, you get a nice event. And you're obviously supporting the museum. The big thing is museums in a whole, obviously with the shutdown throughout last year, a lot of them are definitely could use the extra people coming in. So definitely go and support them. They're really cool. So I'll be spending a whole day at the museum. If you can sign up for that, again, just Google Gilmore Winter Workshop, and you can see that. So, so that's that stuff. Any questions? How am I doing on time?
Good. Yeah,
Oh, good.
Halfway mark.
Good.
Apparently, though, somebody called the Vatican to give me sainthood because I've been with you for 5 years.
I'm a very difficult person to deal with. I mean, but whether you're just friends with me, like Mike deals with, but imagine what Mike deals with, but times like 10, because she has to like live with me. It's kind of obnoxious. But
I mean, it's fine. I'm pretty low key. I have my little quirks, but other than that, it's not that bad.
She definitely is very understanding of all my madness. Like I joked in the video, but like when I got the call that I could buy the 32 Roadster, I was leaving that weekend to go to Florida for like a week, or part of a week, or Georgia and then Florida. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to Detroit like tomorrow. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I got 32 Roadster. I gotta go buy it. I got to call. So she's like, okay. I thought we were gonna hang out. And I'm like, but it's a 32 Roadster. So.
You know, that's not how it went down.
But you like were cool about it. I mean.
Yeah. We both have our lives, and then we have our lives together, which I love because, you know, I don't bother him when I have something to do for my job. So we're both very busy people, but we find time to actually spend time together.
So she's very understanding. Yes, that you're correct. She doesn't get seen. Do you think Viva East will happen this time? I don't know. I've been trying to go to Viva East for 3 years, between me almost dying and then COVID. Like,
there is like a curse around you.
And I can't, apparently I'm not allowed to go to that show. I don't know. So I'm planning to do, we've been changing up our schedule a little bit if everyone hasn't noticed. I'm trying to get a lot of like heavy work done in the winter, and then we're going to try and do more like traveling, car shows, just like driving type videos and lifestyle type stuff on the channel in the summer, warm months for us. So Viva is, if it happens, I would love to hit it, but we'll have to see how, you know, everything kind of, like everybody, we'll have to see how everything opens up over the next, you know, few months or year. So, Matt, rapid fire questions. If tattoos are the human equivalent of flames on a car, what's the car equivalent to ear gauges? That's a totally random.
But I kind of like it.
I do like that. I would say probably big wheels and tires.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, I would think like if I thought of like ear gauges, I would think of like really big drag slicks or something on a, you know, really fat, wide, tall tires or something like that. That's a very good rapid fire random. It's caught me totally off guard. Let's see. Keep up the good work. Blah, blah, blah. 20-inch wheels, yeah. Okay, so keep asking questions. So a couple other things. We have a new T-shirt that's coming out in April.
I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, it's we've been working on it. So our friend Ben Selman has designed a new design that we're doing for a T-shirt, and we're gonna be putting out a video kind of around all of that. I'm gonna be really vague, but there's a whole story behind him making the logo and all this stuff.
I have an update that you don't even have.
Yes, is it?
Secrets.
There you go. So we're going to be putting out a video, I think late March or maybe early April, where we're going to be debuting a new T-shirt and everything that surrounds that logo. So it's going to be really, really cool. I'm super excited about the T-shirt. The merch has been like unbelievable that everybody actually wants to wear our stuff, which is really cool. So like we were kind of astonished by that, but we're psyched. So we're going to keep trying to put out neat stuff that people want to wear. That's probably late March, early April. Events, back into that. So events we have coming up. So somebody asked a question. Spring Carlisle. Yes, we will be at Spring Carlisle. In our next live, when we do in March, I'll give you guys kind of the space numbers. I don't have an official space there, but our buddy Pete Trumbauer has a space. You always see us with big tall Pete. We're usually hanging out with him. He had some spaces adjacent to him that somebody used for like parking their RVs, and I think he scammed them into, sweet talk them, as he can do, into letting us, IronTrap, use some of those spaces or partial spaces. So we will be at Spring Carlisle. Spring Carlisle is going to happen. So if you're coming from far away and you want to go to a big swap meet, Spring Carlisle is usually one of the best spring swap meets, like Spring Carlisle, Charlotte. A couple of those are really good. So if you can make it out to Spring Carlisle, I'm going to be bringing out some great stuff to sell parts-wise out of the archives. And also we'll be there with merch and that stuff, just hanging out. And I'll be wandering around buying and just filming and doing all that kind of stuff. So definitely, if you're coming to Spring Carlisle, look for us. We'll be announcing kind of like the space number area that we will be in shortly. So that's going to be a really good time. Rhinebeck, I heard, was canceled. That's one that we usually do.
How fitting you're talking about it and it's pouring.
Yeah, it's pouring rain right now, and we're talking about Rhinebeck, so that's correct.
Rainbeck.
Rainbeck is canceled. Charlotte's been canceled. Super bummed about that. That's why we're doing the Gilmore thing. We changed the dates around because of that. As far as we know, Hershey is still on. I got my My spaces have been renewed, so I'm still, we're hoping, fingers crossed, Hershey's happening. Just heard Race the Gentlemen, they announced their dates. I think that's still happening. We're hoping to go out to that, whether it's just to hang out or I don't know if I'm going to submit a car or not. I've been sort of thinking about, they opened it up for like a small overhead valve class, so I was sort of thinking about the Schroll Coupe might be kind of fun, but I got to see. Last time I put a deadline on myself, I almost died, so I'm a little gun-shy
We're
about
not
that.
doing that again. But also, maybe next time listen to me.
Yeah. So the other one is Wheels of Time. So we kind of like half debuted the free tea at Wheels of Time 2 summers ago, and I got Phil from Wheels of Time Club emailed us and said that they're, as far as they know, the show's going on. They're going to have the show unless for some reason the governor shuts them down. Fingers crossed we don't. That is in the end of August is when they have that show. So we're going to be setting up with like a full spread. It's a neat show that's been going on for a really long time and is a like multi-day show. We're going to be set up with like a full spread, bring a bunch of cars, hang out for the weekend. If you could make it, it's a really good time. So put that one on your calendar, pencil it in, and hopefully that'll happen because we will be there. It's in McCungy, PA. It's right down the road from us, and we like supporting these local shows, so we're going to be coming out to that and having a good time. So yeah, I think that's the major events. If there's an event that you think we should go to or a swap meet show, whatever, especially swap meet related, let me know, and we will see if we can work it into the calendar. I'm trying to make it out to some more stuff this year.
I did actually see somebody commented on one that we've already talked about doing, the Colorado Hill Climb.
Yeah, the Colorado Hill Climb looks super fun. I just never had the time to make it out to it. We're hoping to make it one of these times. Now that I'm finally getting some cars finished, I can maybe sign up for some stuff to maybe run a car, since the car will actually be done and not like finishing it the night before type deal. I definitely want to make it out to that show. I didn't take a look to see if they announced their stuff yet, but I would definitely like to do that. That looks like a phenomenal event.
Yeah, somebody asked if you do anything special on a car's maiden voyage.
Hope I don't run out of gas or break down. I'm probably going to run out of gas in one of the first 3 drives, because that's just, or 5 drives, because that's just a running joke.
Yeah, I've had to come and rescue him a few times.
But I don't really do anything special, except just like, okay, let's hope it works. But usually what I've been doing is, the way I've been doing stuff that works out, I'll take the car and drive it around like the yard or the property and make sure that it like nothing falls off just in like around my driveway in the yard. Then we'll take it and drive it around the block where we can actually get into like 2nd gear or 3rd gear, drive around my neighborhood. And then after that, basically then we'll take it a little bit further. Usually my first like successful maiden voyage is Eastwood headquarters is only like 7 or 8 miles from me. And I will drive a back roadway to Eastwood. So that was always like my joke. If I can make it to Eastwood, be at Eastwood for the day, start it up, drive it home, and I don't break down, that's like, all right, we're ready to start like driving it. So I just slowly work my way further from home as I get more comfortable. But I don't really do anything otherwise. Just hope and pray that it doesn't break down on me. So, we got the t-shirt, we got the events. One of the things is we're coming up on the 100,000 mark for the subscriber count for the channel. We're I think like 6,000 or 7,000 away. So thank you to everybody that's been following along for all this time. We're going to be doing some kind of giveaway for the 100,000 mark. I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet, but we're going to do some kind of fun giveaway. Definitely a bunch of merch and whatever else. So keep an eye out for that. All I can ask, as always, we don't do the Patreon thing. We don't beg for money. Just spread the word about the IronTrap gospel and ask people to subscribe and watch the videos and all that good stuff. So we're right there. We're going to be announcing that pretty soon, and who knows, maybe next month we'll be doing that in the live, doing that giveaway. Any other questions? Oh yeah, we're doing good. I got like one more thing, and then we got Q&A, and we're pretty much good for the Pate swap meet. Yeah, that's a good one. I think the Pate swap meet usually, who said that? I should give him a shout. Mr. Stacy, 1974. Pate swap meet, I've been wanting to go to that forever. I feel like it falls on the same week as another event, but I've heard great things. I like Texas, so.
I've never been.
Yeah, so I would like to go to that swap meet. It looks fantastic. I gotta look up the dates again. It's in my phone, but I just haven't ever been. Big box truck hauler content. So I think Mike might have been hinting at that. Yeah, that's a project that's in like the brainstorming stage. Is now that we're getting some cars like on the home stretch, or feel like I'm getting some cars finished finally, or on the way to finish. We've been talking about building some kind of like vintage big truck hauler box truck type thing that will be maybe a modern as in like 90s diesel drivetrain and an old cab and kind of retro inspired, something that we can go picking in, we can sleep in, we can maybe put a small hot rod in and drive around. So that's something we're looking for. I just got to find the right one. When it pops up, it'll pop up and we'll know it. But that's going to be something I would say in the next year or two. I'm hoping that we can start working on and put together, because I need something to haul this stuff around other than just a car trailer. So I thought it'd be fun to have something kind of old looking.
Everybody really liked those houndstooth pants I used to wear.
Yeah, I like them too.
I've been wearing jeans because I can now.
But yeah, they like those pants. They were definitely interesting. Let's see. Oh, any new hunting, digging videos coming up soon? Yes. So I am going, so let's see, we're doing Gilmore in April 10th. So that week we're actually going to, the plan is, we're planning to go and pick up the original lift that the Jack DeLorean Roadster lived on for all these years or under. We're going to pick that up. So I've been working with the family to try and arrange, once it got warmer, to come and pick up that lift. So we're going to pick up that lift and disassemble it. So we're going to be videoing the process. Hopefully it comes apart easily, and bringing that back home to put in my shop and use. And we're going to be doing some picking along that trip, as we've done in other videos. So we have some of that going on. We have a couple of like leads or estates that we've been working on, or talking with estates about doing some picking. I just can't let anything out yet because we haven't like officially signed any contracts or any agreements yet. But we have a bunch of that stuff going on. We have I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, we have a bunch of just random trips. If as I always say, if you guys have anything interesting that you know about, or you want us to stop and visit on one of our trips, like we're going to Michigan middle of April. So if you're anywhere between PA and like Michigan in there, let us know. Maybe we can make a stop along the way. We're going to be doing Moultrie again, so going down south. So we just kind of do it as they come up. But I have a handful of like really good big picking adventures. We just have to wait for kind of like final confirmation, or we have to go scout it out and see what we're doing. But we have some stuff coming up that'll be really, really fun in the future. We're also looking to do some collection or car spotlights in the future this summer. So one of the things we want to do on some of our trips, we stop to see people and they have really interesting collections or cars, and we kind of look at them, but we don't really a lot of times film it. So we're going to be testing like a new series where we're kind of, we've been nicknaming it IronTrap Confessionals, but we don't know what we're going to call it yet, where we kind of do a little interview or talk about somebody's collection or obsession or whatever with this hobby. And we're going to be trying to do a video of that, but then we're also going to play with doing some audio stuff, maybe a little podcast format. While we're there, we'll also kind of let the whole interview be recorded. You can listen to an audio version of that. So if you guys have some kind of crazy collection or a car that you'd like us to film or tell the story of, we'd love to show that. Whether stuff's for sale or not for sale, it'd be neat just to share that stuff. So definitely hit us up with that, because that's something we're looking to do this year. And we'll see how everybody likes the videos, but we did the video with Dan Morehouse out in Oregon. It had all those Cadillacs, and we picked at his dad's estate. That was a good example of one that everybody really seemed to like to see, his collection of Cadillac stuff. We enjoyed sharing it with everybody, so we're hoping to do some more of those throughout the next year. So that should be pretty fun.
Somebody asked when Old Man Murray's coming up. It's too cold still.
Yeah, my dad, so this is really funny. My dad worked his whole life as basically, my whole life definitely, as an on the road mechanic of big equipment year round. So my dad was at like the base of the Ben Franklin Bridge taking a transmission out of like a huge, like earth moving equipment, laying on his back in like middle of February. And now that he lives in like Florida for like part-time for a little bit, my dad's like, oh my God, we had to turn the heat on. This is crazy. I can't handle this. I'm like, Dad, it's like 40 degrees. What are you talking about? So my dad's gotten soft. You're getting soft, Dad. But anyway, my dad's coming in, I think end of May, he said, is when we talked to him. So because I got help, and I asked for help last live, and I got some help in the past month, we've been like kicking ass. We're like firing on all cylinders. So the 47 is like moving along way faster than if it would have been me and Mike occasionally helping me. So I was planning on pulling the drivetrain when my dad got here, and then he and I kind of working on fixing it up. But I think we're moving so good that we might have the drivetrain pulled out next month and fixing it up. So by the time my dad gets back in like late May, early June, we may have the thing like drivable. It's kind of crazy to think about. So yeah, my dad will be coming back then, so you'll see my dad kind of joining in on some of the adventures. He definitely, it seems to like the stuff we're doing, so I think he will join in a little bit on some of the nonsense we're doing. If anybody has seats, that's one thing I want to like mention or plead for in the live. I don't have any seats for this thing, so if anybody has a lead on what I preferably would want is some 42 to 8 or whatever seats that will fit this car that have decent fabric on them, like usable fabric. If not, we'll have to get something upholstered, but I'm trying to stay away from like just rusted old springs. So if anybody has a lead on some seats, maybe somebody street rotted a car and they took the stock seats out and they're like usable, that would be really cool to get something in it, because we don't have anything right now. I refuse to let him ride around with those velour BG seats, is what I'll call them.
He'd probably like that.
So let's see. Any more questions? Let's see. Yeah, when you get old, you feel the cold more. I definitely have gotten a little like more of a soft with that stuff myself. I'm in Central Cali. What is cold? Quiet. Let's see. Dirt drags, old cars in Monte Vista County. We'll have to look that up. That'll be cool. Where is our shop? We're located outside Philadelphia, in a little town called Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We're like halfway between Philly and Allentown, or Bethlehem, PA, is where we're at. So we do get winter. Anything else you see? Junkyard seats. Yeah, I know. I know we can do the minivan or 2000 whatever Dodge Caravan seats, but that's like last resort for me. So I'm trying to find something that we can get that is got like old fabric and will look correct in the car. I really, at that point, if I'm going to put minivan seats in the car, I might as well just get them all reupholstered. So I won't do that. So not my cup of tea for this car. Somebody asked about where. Can you explain your thoughts on why you're keeping the 33 old and shitty, the 32 old and shitty, but the 32 coupe you want to paint? Really, the decision for how I do these cars is totally makes no sense to anybody. It's just however I feel. So my big thing, and even like the 32 coupe, I plan to eventually paint it, but I think this summer we're going to put it together and leave it old and shitty because I'm not, as people might think I am, but not independently wealthy. I'm quite broke actually because I have this addiction. So like body and paint work is a big chunk of money. So like a lot of times I've found that if I, especially learn with the T, that A, it's the money thing, but B, sometimes the car, I let it speak to me and the cars have some soul as they are like old and weathered. And the way I've kind of rationalized it is I can restore the car underneath, make it mechanically safe, all restored, metalwork basically fixed, and the paint is old, and if I drive it for a couple years or a summer like that, work all the bugs out, and then I want to paint it, at least all the bugs are worked out. You can't go the other way around. I can't paint it and then be bummed that I like didn't leave it old and kind of crappy looking. But it also leaves like a variety, so I can have cars that are drivable, that are just weathered and old and fun, and you can just get them. My Model A Coupe, the Pagoda City Coupe, is like that. I can literally like slam the door, drive it anywhere. I don't care if I get caught in the rain. I don't, it's just a fun car, and I have a lot of fun with cars that are like that. Then you have like the free T or different cars where I'm like scared to even do anything. So it's nice to have the balance of that. But like a lot of these cars, I kind of just go by like, I always joke about it, let the car speak to me. So as you're working on the car, you have a lot of time to just kind of look at it and think about it. So like the 32 over there, the Stroll Coupe, I'd like to paint the car, but I think I'm going to, like I said, leave it as is, and I actually am going to probably try and dissolve the black primer off of it and uncover more of the old green paint on it. And we may run it around for the end of this summer just like that, with just it finished like that. So there's no rationale, it's just I let the car speak to me, and it is what it is. You can't go backwards once you repaint it, so.
Well, you can, but it doesn't look the
Yeah,
same.
then you're faking the funk. Let's see. If you have a compressor, you need to learn to paint. I have painted. I painted the dash in the 34. I have the ability to paint, but what I'm getting at is the cost to paint. I don't care if you paint yourself. The cost of materials, the time it takes, is an investment. So with me having like 18 projects, I have to think a little differently than an average person would with their projects. We're building our own cars for fun, but we're shooting videos for you. So if I have to not shoot video, like I can't shoot 37 videos block sanding a car. So like we got to keep cars moving in all different directions. So that's why it's nice to have some of these cars that we can get running, driving, and if we work on it in the background doing body work for like 6 months, and we don't shoot a video on it, we have other cars to work on. But yeah, I'm planning to do some paint work myself more and more in the next year. I would love to start spraying cars myself. I've done just about everything but a full car from start to finish. I've sprayed a little bit of clear coat, I've sprayed paint, sprayed tons of primer. I just haven't taken it by myself with no help from start to finish, and that's where I usually lean on friends that are better than me. Any other questions you see?
A lot of people have been asking about when we're getting engaged. It'll happen eventually. I'm not in a
man.
rush.
I got to.
Don't feel pressured. We're fine. It's 2021. We can wait.
Let's see. Flathead Ron's Garage. Tech correction. What were the P-series bearings? Really, I have no idea what you're talking about. Your old videos endings were different. Why did you change? I don't like leaving things always the same. So we just change our videos with like the YouTube algorithm. Sometimes they change things, and if you do like the same ending at every video, it thinks that it's the same video over and over again. So we have to change some stuff. On the back end, you guys may not realize that YouTube is always changing. So we have to kind of tweak our videos to kind of match what they want, so that they don't like think that our videos are all the same. Their computers think that the videos are all the same, and they just like skip over showing these videos to you guys. Let's see. Put a ring on. Her rings are in the garage. Yeah, we got flathead piston rings. You should build a VW Bug hot rod. That would be super cool. I never was too much into the VW Bug hot rod thing. I love air-cooled Volkswagens and the styling that is very popular for them. But like trying to mix two worlds together, I was never super into that. Plenty of people do it. It's cool. But for me to like own one, I don't think I would do that. If I was going to do a European car again, I'd probably do something kind of obscure or more higher end. I don't know what, but that's not anytime soon. Is the meat truck for sale? So the meat truck story, we had a lot of people ask. I put the meat truck up for sale. The town of Dillsburg actually wanted to buy the meat truck back where the truck came from, the Historical Society. We went back and forth for the whole entire second half of last year, and I turned all the possible buyers away because they were very sure that they were going to buy it, and then last minute, financially it didn't work out for them, and they had to back out. So that was like December maybe, I found that out, and winter was already starting, so I haven't really done anything. So the meat truck, yes, I would sell the meat truck. I'm not going to give it away. If somebody has something interesting to trade and they would like the meat truck, I'm also interested in that. But I would sell the meat truck just because I don't really use it as much as I should, and we really need to build something bigger, like I was talking about earlier, that we can haul more stuff in. So if you're interested, send an email, irontrapgarage@gmail.com, and I can, we can see if there's something we can work out. But yeah, I would love to see it find a new home, somebody that could tinker on it more than I get the time to, or even drive it. I don't drive it too much anymore. Let's see. Restoring a 35 Auburn, not the same as hot rods. For watching your welding and metalwork really helps. Great channel. That's Nightfall Gray RS. I would love to have an Auburn, so I'm jealous of you. Auburns are very, very cool. After going to the Gilmore and seeing some of the high-end stuff like Duesenbergs and Auburns and all kinds of stuff, early LaSalle's and Cadillac stuff, I someday want to own something like that, but not quite there yet. Let's see. Oh, Roy Boy asked another great question. Obviously, you're a hot rod guy. Do you have any desires to do an early custom? Yes, I love early customs too. I mean, so the 39 Swamp Mercury, that is the plan with that, is to do a full custom with that. I actually have a bunch of parts I've been gathering together. I have a frame that Mike and Chad actually brought out from Oklahoma for me to replace the junky one under it. And I have a plan, and now that I got a little bit of help with some guys coming occasionally to help me tinker, we're going to start getting that car broken apart. But the plan with the 39 Mercury is to do some kind of early custom with it, whether it's 40s, 50s style custom. I've been going back and forth on doing whether I'm going to chop it or do like a cool Carson top on it. You don't see as much of that right now. But that's the idea with that. And then I would love to do some kind of like early custom that's like a 34 or something like that, or a 36 someday, but just got to find the right car. But that 39 Mercury will be one. It's just so rough that I'm kind of waiting to get the Sweetheart Roadster a little further along. So that is, yes, great question. Let's see. Somebody in Michigan, Bullfrogs, looking for, having a hard time finding Model T parts like a cow and other body panels. Do you have any leads? Model T parts are extremely affordable and easy to find if you use the internet or go to big swap meets. So what I would suggest doing is like the Ford Barn is a great place to look. Forum that is for like restoration, early Ford guys. You could also start asking around at car shows or the early V8 club or the Model T club or the Model A club. Any of those clubs, if you send an email or ask around, you could probably find somebody with that stuff. Just do some digging, but Model T stuff is pretty affordable right now, and as long as they're not super picky, it's all over the place. You can also go on Instagram and join Instagram, start looking around at all the different guys that are always selling stuff, because stuff pops up. I don't have anything personally right now, but it pops up really often. Or go to Hershey. Hershey, it's like everywhere. You're like tripping over Model T cows. So that would be a good thing if you could make it. You could probably buy everything to build a Model T in pieces at the swap meet. I'm sure you could. So, good question. We only got a couple minutes here. Yeah, Auburn Core Duesenberg Museum. I want to hit that. Definitely this year I'm trying to hit that. I don't know if we're going to do it in our trip this time to Michigan, but one of the next trips I would definitely like to do that. That looks really fun. That might be one that Kate and I go on a little road trip and stop like on a more casual trip than running around. Let's see. Thank you. Frank's saying he's in New Mexico and he has a list, asking me for a list of parts. You don't want that burden. I'm not going to do that to you because you'll be bugged forever. But really, a lot of stuff I'm looking for is like the obscure, rare, expensive stuff that everybody else is looking for. If you stumble upon any 32 to 34 Ford bodies or part stashes, let me know. But otherwise, I'm doing pretty good right now with parts. But I appreciate it. Let's see. We are pretty much at the end. Yes. So people check the comments if you guys aren't, like there's some people giving suggestions for the Model T parts. Definitely read the comments because that's one of the great things about our viewers is that everybody kind of works together, which is awesome. So Mike's going to be picking 2 people to get free coffee mugs. So definitely keep your notifications on so that if Mike tags you in a comment, you can respond and claim your coffee cup. We'll free of charge mail it anywhere in the world to you. So we appreciate you guys watching. Spring's coming up. We're going to be doing a bunch of really fun stuff. We have some neat videos coming up, like I hinted at, with some neat different estates that we're working with and car events and things like that. And yeah, thank you for watching. We will catch you soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye, thanks.
Catch you later.